Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit that button. And while you're at it, hit that like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV. Oh my gosh. All right. So I was watching the reunion yesterday for Married to Medicine. I have a few things that I want to talk about, but I like to keep it as short and sweet as possible over here. So I'm not going to get into everything that's on my mind, but I definitely do want to get into the back and forth with Quad and Letitia. And before I share some of the audio and just kind of give my reaction to it, I'm not going to share the video. You already know how Bravo is. But listen, I feel I'm not even surprised, and I definitely feel one of the reasons why a lot of people have been calling out the cast, the majority of them, not just hellishly, heavy, heavenly, Quad the Fraud, and even Simone, like all of them for the most part. And when I say all of them, I'm actually not even really including Contessa and Letitia because, to be honest with you, I really feel that they are the least problematic, even though I know there are a lot of people who are on the team Quad. And they just feel that Letitia was gunning for her position and she was calculated and sending Dr. G a DM and all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. I don't care, honestly, about how Letitia got with Dr. Gregory, because the fact of the matter is, Dr. Gregory has been friends with these men for years, okay? And although this show has been mainly centered around the women, we know that the men have definitely been a big part of the show. It hasn't just been about the women for the most part. From the very beginning, it has been about all of them. It hasn't been just about the women. So people really need to skip me with the BS when it comes to Quad is the one that this show should be about. She what was her line? She was here since its conception. She really believes that she is the show. And I feel that people like that, especially when they were not the ones that actually created it, like Mariah Huck, you really have a whole lot of freaking nerve. Now, I was on one of the blogs and I was laughing because I didn't see her comment until later, but it was a clip of Quad saying that if it were not for her, Letitia would not be on the show. And Mariah Huck, she was like, and I wish I took a screenshot of the comment, but I mean, basically, she was like, "Oh my god, I spit my drink out on that one," because it's like the absolute nerve, the unmitigated gall of somebody to say that she was the one that was the reason someone is on the show when she doesn't even give credit to the one who really was the reason she was on this show, Mariah, and to even Dr. Gregory. I'm sorry. I'm all right. I'm getting heated because this chick really has a whole lot of nerve. All right, guys. So let me just get into it because I really have a whole lot to say, but for the sake of time, I don't want to make this very long. All right, so let's see here. I think this is it. Yeah, it's Quad and Simone. I want to pause it for a moment because Quad really believes that she is humorous and intelligent and all of the above. And honestly, throughout the season, she said a few things here and there that might have been funny, but girl, please, let me say something. There are some people, and I understand it because I have been there on a number of occasions. I've often said I feel that I am a better writer than I am a speaker, even though writing isn't something that I really enjoy. But I can express myself sometimes a whole lot better when I'm writing than when I'm speaking. I don't consider myself a speaker, even though I do this podcast. I get it, but that's yeah. But with that being said, there are some people, and there are people who may be extremely intelligent, but they're not great test takers. They're not great under pressure like that. So they may know all of the things, but when it comes to taking a test, they just don't really take tests very well. That's a real thing. So being in a moment and being confronted about something, there are some people that are not really quick-witted, and they may not express themselves in the appropriate manner or say the exact words or the right words to explain the situation. I understand where Sweet Tea was coming from. I don't think she meant to use the word jealous, but I absolutely understand where she's coming from. I do. So while Quad may not be jealous of this woman and her relationship, clearly, because she didn't want the man when she had him. But I do believe that when it comes to Lat- Letitia, Sweetie, like she said, having her scraps that she left over, that doesn't mean that she is happy about it. Even though she tried to front and fake when they announced that they were getting married on social media, and Quad congratulated them. And this is why I don't see it for the people and for Quad when they say that Dr. G has been abusive to her in their relationship. What woman do you know? Spare me the, oh, there are a lot of women who have been in abusive relationships and they do their best to protect the man because I get that. I understand that. And yeah, that is a thing. But that doesn't mean that a woman who actually decided to get out of the relationship, which she did, divorce the man, which she did, move on with her life, which she did, when she sees that this man has moved on and he's getting married to someone else, that she is congratulating him on the nuptials, upcoming nuptials, that she is going to the woman's bachelorette party, and also, when they are on set together, she's going up to the couple and asking the new wife if she can give him a hug around his neck. Get out of here with that BS. I don't see it for these people because what they have done, it has been calculated. And I don't know if you all have caught it. Those who get it, get it. You really have to catch it. But if you've watched throughout this season and you've seen the scenes, the episodes, where they have tried to paint Dr. Gregory out to be this aggressive wild man who was abusive to Quad and all the things that they have been trying to play up the season to make it look like she and he, Letitia and Dr. G, are terrible people and they made a mistake by bringing them back into the fold and now we got to get them out of here. That is some BS. That all of that was calculated because for whatever reason, they have all made up with Quad because last season, somehow, some way, not everybody, but I guess a lot of people were not feeling the way that they dismissed Quad from the Napa trip, and then how she made herself out to be a victim on the last reunion, crying dry tears when Simone, which I actually don't have a problem with what Simone did because Simone didn't lie. Simone didn't lie. And I get it, Quad lost a family member, but one of the things that I really despise is when people use situations like that to play up the sympathy card. And I'm sorry, spare me, but also indulge me for a moment. If this situation that happened in her pool was so tragic, I don't see myself filming a scene with my girlfriends hanging out and drinking and all that stuff in the same pool that her niece lost her life in. I don't know if anyone has ever said anything about that, but for me, I really thought that was in poor taste, especially because of how she made it out to be on the last reunion when she didn't even want Simone to like even mention it. And Simone didn't go into explicit details, but yeah, she did say when she lost, I reached out. Like if I'm like a friend, I'm going to reach out. What was wrong with Simone saying that? What was wrong with Simone just saying, I actually was showing concern and I reached out. So if I wasn't really a friend to you, why would I do that? I'm going to reach out in times like that. And Quad's like, no, Simone, don't do it, Simone. I'm sorry. Quad, I really can't stand this chick at this point. I really can't. And I heard that they're already filming for the next season. Doesn't mean that everybody who was watching it before is going to watch it because a lot of people just don't see it for this cast anymore. And I'm just really disgusted with it because the way they have done this, bringing this woman into the fold, I feel that Dr. Gregory really had his he's a man and he can have feelings. I really believe that he had his feelings hurt by the way that these men have treated him, pretty much favoring Quad's alleged, and I say alleged because it's some information that I heard on another YouTuber, Lakeisha Keisha's channel about Quad the Fraud's alleged boyfriend, okay, um, favoring him, someone that they pretty much just met over him that they know is dirty. So let me continue. The nerve. Did you hear her? You would not be here without me. The nerve of this chick to give herself the credit. You see how delusional she is? She never for a moment gives Mariah or her ex-husband the credit for where she is, and then she has the nerve to say that Letitia wouldn't be there without her. I mean, I guess what she's trying to insinuate is if it wasn't for these ladies having an issue with me and wanting to try to check me for a moment, they would have not pursued you to be a part of this cast and to be a part of this friend group if they didn't have an issue with me. But for her to try to give herself the credit for that is some wild stuff. And when she said that you would not be here without Dr. Gregory because he is the medicine and married to medicine, Jackie's face and turning to look at Quad like, you gonna let her get away with that? She was telling the truth. She was telling the absolute truth. And so, and I played that part again. I didn't mean to, but her saying that, they're going to be the people that are going to jump back to before the last season began. And they played the house tour video when Letitia was showing, the house that people are loving to say that was Quad's house. Quad lived in that house before. And I get it, all the stuff about new energy, new spaces, new places, new homes, or whatever. That's a decision between Dr. Gregory and Letitia. If she likes it, I love it. I don't care. I don't have an issue with it. But when she was doing a little home tour and she talked about, had to do some different things in here and get some spirits out or whatever she was saying, okay, big freaking deal. Big freaking deal. But the way Quad has been going in on this woman, and she showed up to her bachelorette party last season. Anyway, it's just ridiculous. Did you hear what she said? I hope you and your man got a fleet of ambulance trucks. Listen, I don't care if somebody gave her that read to say, I loved it. She killed it. She killed it. Absolutely, I absolutely love that. I needed that laugh. She really believes that just because her man has a chiseled chest and some abs that he is so fine. That man has some deep lines and rivers and valleys and creases in his face. Girl, bye. He is not all of that. And from what I heard, he has a boyfriend. But that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true, but I'm saying what I heard. And that is alleged because if you heard the news about Quad's boyfriend, the Kang, that she loves to so worship and praise, okay, allegedly, not saying that the one that he so-called gifted her is stolen, but he was named in a lawsuit for a stolen Rolls Royce. What successful businessman that has a fleet of luxury vehicles that he rents out is being named in a lawsuit as a defendant for stolen vehicles? Mhm. A Rolls Royce. Squad is so fake. Oh my god, this chick is so phony. And her comeback for her coming off as very fake is actually, like, ridiculous, but yeah, Quad does come off as really fake. Let's be clear, Letitia is from Texas, okay? Her speaking about her voice when Quad is doing her best to try to put off this persona that she comes from, I don't know where, but not from where she actually is from, and doing her best to not sound like who she really is fake. She is a Beverly Hillbilly. She is a wannabe. She is a wannabe with that blue eyeshadow. Girl, get up out of here. Like, Quad really believes she is more than what she is. I'm telling you, this chick is so fake. I am not sure if the rumors that are out about her boyfriend are true, but let me tell you something. If it is, if all of this stuff is proven, I cannot wait to see her responses because she has been out here flaunting this man and this relationship since this season has come out, but claiming that they were in a relationship for 14 months or whatever it was, right? And claiming that these women hurt her so much that she couldn't bring them around, but also claiming that she and Heavenly are so tight. Well, why didn't Heavenly know about the man? You know, when she did her green screen confessionals during the season and they asked her about the man, why didn't she come out and say, "Well, yeah, I knew about him, but I just didn't, it wasn't my story or, my news, so I couldn't talk about it." She was just as surprised as everybody else. All right. Yeah, she did say it because it's the truth. Quad is a Beverly Hillbilly. She's a wannabe. Let me tell you something, all right? Because all of this stuff about her man, her man, her man. She loves her man. She's trying to get pregnant for her man. Her man that allegedly was stealing Rolls Royces to rent out. Her man that allegedly has a boyfriend. Like I said, it's what I heard. It's not what I saw. But if it's the truth, I would not be surprised because it's Atlanta, the land of the scammers and the gay boys. All right. So that would not be a huge shock. It really wouldn't. But let me say something because, like I told you guys, I feel that I'm a better writer than I am a speaker. So, on one of the Instagram posts, on one of the IG posts, I did comment and I was like, Quad wouldn't be here without Mariah and Dr. G going on couples trips for years without a husband, a man or girlfriend, even, or one of the dogs. But as soon as her ex is invited back as cast with new wife and she became a castaway mid-season, she comes back the next season with a storyline man, my opinion. Sweet Tea may not have used the right word, parentheses, jealous, but I got what she meant. We know she don't want Greg. She didn't want him when she had him the first time around. And her giving that face when she said they shared the same bleep, child, that's how Quad was the few times she had sacrificed sex with him to stay inside until she was ready to pull the plug on that marriage and be outside again. And that's the truth. The fact of the matter is, Quad never wanted Dr. G, all right? She was in that relationship as a come out. And then how Quad does, because if you really know the truth about her, if you see the truth about her, she is the type of person that it's never just a cordial walk away, gonna just wipe my hands and wash my hands of this situation and move forward. No, she wants to burn the bridges on her way out. So because she had a falling out with Mariah, and it was over and over again with Mariah because Mariah is the one that created the show and she knows that Mariah told her the truth when she said, I gave you this platform. And she said, yeah, I said I gave you this platform and I did. And she did do that. She wanted to paint Mariah out as a drug head, saying on that reunion that season with your coke snorting ass. And she knows that that was not true. I didn't believe it when she said it. I felt that it was cold and it was low when she did say that. And that's her MO. She did that season, whatever season that was. And then when you go back to the second season, freaking first episode, Quad is shedding all of these soap opera tears about about how she just couldn't believe that Mariah could talk about her the way that she did and say the thing that she said. And girl, and just really wanting to ice Mariah out and just show people how terrible Mariah is. This is the type of person that Quad is, all right? So leaving that marriage, she wanted to paint Dr. G as this terrible person. And because now she got to end back with these women, I believe, my personal opinion is, I believe that she used the unfortunate passing of her family member to gain the sympathy of these women to bring her back into the fold. That's my personal opinion, guys. You can say what you want, you can call it however you see it, but that's how I see it. And I really have an extremely strong spirit of discernment. I can discern spirits heavily. A lot of times I don't like doing it because I just don't like what I see and it's disappointing. So a lot of times I don't use it, but it's there. And I knew it from the last season when she was on that stage just crying, 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 and crying. She was solidifying her position on this show. She was doing that soap opera act and using the unfortunate passing of her family, which her family member, which I'm sorry that that happened. I'm not saying anything about that unfortunate passing in a negative way, but I am saying that, and people do stuff like this. They will use that sympathy card the, to get the support that they really need for a different purpose. And Quad needs this show. She needs that check. She got to pay for that home. I don't know how much equity she has in that home, but I'm just saying that I believe that because of what happened in her family, she used that with these women to gain the sympathy and gain the favor over Letitia because she does not want Letitia to be on the show and her ex-husband. Period. Period. So I truly believe that in some ways they may not recognize it, the other women, which, a lot of them, I don't care for them at this point either because they're doing this. But I don't even believe that they really even know that they've been played in a way, even though Toya did mention that the apologies that they gave her were not genuine because they just wanted to get it over with. And you know how Quad is. It's just, ridiculous. It's never ending with her. So I do kind of agree with that. But she never wanted her ex-husband and his new wife to be on this cast. And that is something that she will never, ever forgive and forget. So I believe that she used the death of her loved one to get these women to be more on her side so that she could X out her ex-husband and his new wife. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying that I'm 100% right, but I really do feel that. And so to see how these women have pounced on Letitia, calling her aggressive and she's not being accountable, calling Dr. G aggressive and he's not being accountable. Accountable for what? Accountable for what? So I see how they do this stuff. I don't like it. It's unfortunate, but it is, a messy reality show. And the most disappointing thing about it is this was supposed to be one of the reality shows where, yeah, it had a little mess here and there, but for the most part, it was giving a higher level of maturity. And now it's like Love and Hip Hop levels, which I haven't watched in years. All right. The Mean Girl stuff, Heavy Heavenly is a troll on social media talking about people's teeth and all kind of, it's just calling people pedophiles and saying that they're not respected in the community and like I I get it, the blogs, they got to post something, but I really wish that these blogs like the Neighborhood Talk and the Jasmine Brand and others would really stop featuring her because it's really giving her the attention that she so lacked years ago. She's loving the attention. And she's one of those people that, good or bad, it's indifferent to her. She does not care. As long as she's getting the attention, she's all here for it, except for when people are talking about her cheating husband. But we'll talk about that in a different video. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe that Quad used the death of her family member to really get these women on her side so that she could get her ex-husband and his new wife iced out and get them off of the show? How do you feel that Quad's that Quad's confrontation to Letitia was? Who do you believe really got their point across in that situation? And before I wrap this up, I definitely wanted to say that I don't care what anyone says. Letitia looked good. Her hair looked great. I love the natural look and feel of it. It wasn't given lace front wig like a lot of these chicks, Quad with the terrible wigs. Heavenly, I guess she paid a little bit more money to have a stylist to do her hair for this reunion because those things that she be slapping up on her head to be on the show and to be in her closet when she's doing these sessions of just talking about everybody else's business except her own. Letitia looked good. The dress could have maybe been a little bit more fitting, going towards the bottom and maybe a little bit longer, but the color was beautiful. I love the mint green. It really flattered her. She is a beautiful woman. She really is. And Quad hates that. People can talk about the age gap situation, all that stuff, all they want. Hey, it's not for me, but if it works for them, have at it. I really don't care. But with all that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.